This is a video to show the 9 movement mapping vinyasa progressions. They work in a series from easier, less weight bearing to more complex movements and more weight bearing scenarios. And so the idea of having these 9 progressions is that you can scale up or down your movement sequences for you as an individual where you're at today, and know if something is too hard, how to make it a little easier, and if something is feeling really easy, how to make it more challenging. So the 9 progressions are broken into 3 different sections. The first section is the straight arm vinyasa, the second section is the bent arm vinyasa, and the third session is adding in the scorpion roll. So we'll start from the easiest and work our way hardest, and I'll demonstrate each step, first with the straight arm vinyasa. So the first sequence, or the first vinyasa for the straight arm vinyasa is knees on the ground the whole time. So you'll start in child's pose. You will come to table, extend to upward facing dog, push back to child's pose. Number 2 is you start in child's pose, you come to plank, upwards facing dog, knees down, pushing back to child's pose. And the third is knees off the ground the entire time. So you will start in child's pose with knees lifted, coming to plank, upwards facing dog, pushing back to child's pose with your knees off the ground. If these feel really good, the next progression is adding in the bent arm movement to your vinyasa. So first we'll start with knees on the ground the whole time, in child's pose, rolling forward. From here, upward facing dog, extending the hips, back to your plank with knees on the ground, bend, pushing back to child's pose. Step 2 is you have your knees lifted at the beginning, so you move from child's pose to plank, knees off the ground, upward facing dog, knees down as you move into your bent arm position, pushing back to child's pose. And then the third option, the most challenging, is knees off the ground the entire time. So we come to our upward facing dog, up to plank, bending the arms, pushing back to child's pose with the knees off the ground. So those are the 3 sequences for the bent arm vinyasa series. And now we will show the 3 for the scorpion roll. Again, the first with knees on the ground. So we're in child's pose. We come up to upward facing dog. We then are lowering to vinyasa. You're bringing your whole body to the ground. You can lift your left leg, look to the left, coming back, look to the right, lifting your right leg, placing it behind you, coming back, and then pushing back with knees on the ground to child's pose. Step number 2 is the same with knees elevated at the beginning and only hips on the ground for the scorpion roll. So we will come up to upward facing dog with knees off the ground. We will put our knees down, lowering into the bent arm. Hips on the ground, but keeping the chest elevated. You look to the left, raise your right leg, and twist. Look to the right, raising the right leg, and twist. And then pushing back to child's pose. And then the last in this series, the 9th and final, is knees off the ground the whole time. So we'll come to upward facing dog, to bent arm, look and lift, look and twist, and then from your plank, back to child's